All right, welcome to week 3 of the MML. This is Cole of the East Bay Earthquakes. This week we take on Zintaf and the Farr West Furrets. We're both meeting 2-0, so one of us is going to walk out of this match undefeated, which is pretty exciting. And I'm definitely excited for this. This is a rematch. We got to play Zintaf last season, but he took over a team that he didn't draft, so it's a little more exciting this time, seeing him do well with his own drafted team. So before we meet, so it's a really exciting match, and it was really close last time too. So definitely a big match here. Let's get into the team breakdown. All right, so this was the first mon we decided to build with this week. Dunsparce, he is Poison Terra, Silk Scarf Rattled. Rattled just because we're not doing anything with Serene Grace, and Silk Scarf to boost Hyper Drills. This is meant to be kind of our Sneasler trap / check. I mean, once we Poison Terra, he's a good check, but until then, we're hoping to get him in free, and hopefully he brings in Sneasler to try to kill it with fighting move, and then we Terra and should be able to kill back with Hyper Drill. Unless we think it's Zoe, then we might have to EQ. I guess we would just EQ anyway because it's super effective. He is max Spadef, even though we're trying to check Greninja with it. He's so bulky, I think it's like 150 HP, that with the max Spadef, he's just bulky all around and can take on, at least like if he's full health, he can take on a lot of hits from his special guys this week. Potentially just pick up an extra KO. I do expect him to kind of be an early game wall breaker. He can sweep with Coil Roost. It's hard to get Coil off, and he's got a lot of defensive pieces I expect this week that kind of make coiling not worth it, and it's just better off probably attacking a lot of things. Not too much to say about it. Like I said, max Spadef, max HP. That is where we started. Most likely Terra. This would be the backup option if we do not Terra Poison to Dunsparce, would be Moon. Terra Flying, Booster Energy. He is max speed and 220 attack, which should be just enough to stay under. Be able to. We want to be booster speed this week. With one Dragon Dance, we can outspeed his entire team. And I believe, yeah, we need 2 to outspeed the Choice Scarfer. It's brutal. He's got a lot of fast guys with Greninja and Sneasler right at the top, 122, 120. So, or no. Yeah, no. If we have Booster, then we only need the 1, right? It's if we don't have Booster, which is a potential. We might have to bring him in early, we saw in a couple mocks. It might have to be an early game thing, which is tough because you lose Booster. That's why it's not necessarily my favorite item to run all the time. But I think this is an interesting time to run it and potentially get off at DD. Like we said, we want to keep it in the back, which is tough to not be able to bring him in earlier, but potentially a good late game sweep opportunity. Before we finish on Moon, the big guys we really need to make sure are not there when we try to sweep. Zap, Fortress, Avalugg, Hatterene, all those kind of stuff this thing pretty hard. So we definitely don't want to try to sweep with those still around. If we're gonna wall break, that's fine, but not if we're trying to win. It's probably like the last main offensive guy, Rotom, and he's really our only speed until we get Moon in. Choice Scarf, he is just fast enough to outspeed Timid Max Greninja. It's really scary for Rotom this week. He's also our lead, which I'll go into what we're doing. But what's tough about him is a lot of the things that with Zoe and not knowing who's who and who's scarfed potentially. That's something I'm, really nervous to deal with Zoe this week. Make sure we are trying to keep really good. We're going to try to pay attention really well to who's at what HP and see if we can get around the shenanigans, because it's going to be tough to deal with, and it's so likely to come. But yeah, so many things out. Greninja hits it with Ice Beam or Gunk Shot, Sneasler, Poison Move, Zoe, Flamethrower, like almost all these Oko, Rotom, even with the 84 in HP. So it's super scary if we guess wrong. I mean, we are going to have to assume we're faster than a lot of things, but we don't know. It's a really standard set: T-Bolt, Leaf Storm, Trick, Volt Switch. It was Thunder Wave, but I think Trick could be good to potentially stop a Zapdos, defensive Zapdos, from being as much of a problem. But it's not easy. Tricks is always a tough thing, and the tear doesn't matter on Rotom. The Ghost is not going off. Yeah, so we want to Volt Switch on a lot of things. Oh yeah, I wanted to go over. So there's it's like Sneasler, we're hard swap into Donphan, Greninja, hard swap into Florges, and any one of these can potentially be Zoe. Reminder. Toedscruel, Leaf Storm, and then if he stays in and it is Toedscruel, obviously, then we're probably going to go Donphan. Zapdos, we're going to Volt to Florges, Arcanine, hard swap to Tauros, Fortress, Volt switch to Donphan, Hatterene, Volt switch to Florges, same with Appleton, and then Volt switch to Tauros on Avalugg. So I think the scariest thing is if he leads a slow guy and then goes Zoe, because we're expecting to be faster, and then he could just hit us with a Flamethrower, Choice Scarf, or something. Or even a U-turn does a lot. So we'll see how that goes. That was Rotom. Next up is Donphan. He's actually kind of like as Nick coins, the Trenches Mon. He doesn't really have a very specific matchup. I mean, he is Rindoberry, max HP, max attack, and that's to help with Toedscruel, who kind of hard to deal with the specific 6 we're bringing. If we had Articuno and Heatran, it wouldn't be as bad, most likely. But he's kind of our answer. So Rindo, hopefully, like, come in on a Poison move, take the Rindo, Grass move. Hopefully it's not Leaf Storm, because that might just KO through the Rindo if we've taken Chip already. And then Ice Spinner should always kill, unless he's Ice Berry or something. EQ, his strongest move, and also good for Sneasler. Knockoff. Knockoff is good for, if we think he's going to switch out. I think if we are in on Sneasler, which this is kind of the Sneasler switch in until the Dunsparce can get in and poison. If we come in on the poison move, we shouldn't take too much with our bulk, and then we kind of threaten to kill with EQ. So I'm thinking knock, and if we can get a good knock on like Zap or someone, that'd be great. Not too much else to say about him. Oh, no priority this week. We'll see in Tauros in a second as well, but no Ice Shard. Ice Spinner just does more to switch-ins, and like we really just want to do as much damage as we can to things like Zap and stuff. We were just really tough to deal with. Like defensive Zap's pretty scary this week. Rapid Spin to get any hazards away. We were heavy-duty boots, so we have to be careful about that if we let them stack up too early. But I think if we see Fortress, who's the most likely one to try to stack on us, we should be going hard Donphan anyway if he's still there. And if not, then hopefully Rotom. Which, by the way, speaking of Rotom, if Avalugg is there, we cannot afford to risk Rotom very much, which is pretty scary, because that thing is just really hard to deal with. And you'll see why in a second when we look at Tauros. He is Leftovers, max defense, relaxed nature, minus speed. We wanted, because we have Tecton Surf this week, and the speed doesn't matter. One thing about Zintap's team is he has a pretty big gap between Arcanine, Hisui, and Fortress, about 50 points in the base stat totals. So we don't care about outspeeding Toad or Zap. Both of them we're not trying to deal with them anyway. And then same in the Arcanine, we don't really care. We'd have to run a decent amount of speed to stay faster than it, and not particularly worried about it. You should switch out most of the time. So we are negative speed. Surf with 4 EVs to just help with Avalugg. Potentially after an Iron Defense is pretty tough to deal with. Not too much else to say, I think. Body Press before the Iron Defense is good. It hits harder than Surf before he does that. And if he Terras that Avalugg, that's pretty scary. Stone Edge hits Arcanine, super effective, and can catch Zapdos, so I think they'll likely switch into this. Raging Bull breaks screens. It probably could have been Aqua Jet this week, but I think it's like a 50-50. I mean, one of them could be good, one of them could be bad. We just don't know. Leftovers for longevity. No one else really needed it. Too bad. Not too much else with him. He really only has Arcanine and Avalugg. He can, I mean, there's, he can do stuff against Fortress and potentially even like Hat if it's low enough. But he's pretty expendable once those two are gone, but I got a feeling they'll stick around for a while. Florges, who probably has the toughest matchup this week for everyone. He has so many special attackers he has to deal with this week. He is Kebia Berry, Max Spadef. Very similar set to last time. It's just instead of leftovers, it's Kebia. Not too much to say. I mean, he's got to deal with Gren, Zap, Zoe, Hat, Appleton, and Toadscruel. So a lot of, I mean, probably not Toadscruel, but, those are the special guys this week, 6 of them. I don't expect all of them, obviously, but it's just going to be a lot to deal with. The Kebias for Gunk Shot from Gren. Potentially, we need to be clicking Synthesis a lot, potentially, and make sure we stay healthy, like if this thing gets too low, and we're just going to not have a special wall. So that's pretty much it. We went a little bit longer than we wanted to, so let's message Zintaf and get this going. It's been a minute. See if I remember how to do this. Hopefully we set it up right, too. It's a little tricky this time around. So should have done the discount double check before, but everyone looks good, and I think we've checked this team like 500 times, so everyone should be good. I'll lock that in. Tell Zintaf we're ready to search. And then we'll get ready to go here. We're going to try to be really good about keeping track of everyone. Alright, he says he's ready, so should be searching. I want to write these guys down. We're going to lock in right away. I might be really quiet because this is going to take a lot of thinking, I think. Alright, so let's put in our lead. Oop. We see Zoe, Sneasler, Gren, Arcanine. It is almost everyone we expected. Hatterene is there. Definitely expect Zoe. If it's, I think Zoe should be Arcanine, right? If that's how it goes. So no Avalugg. So Moon looks pretty good here. Arcanine and Hat and Zap still. Special guys, quite a few. Arctoros just has to deal with Arcanine. Let's see. We can risk Rotomo, it looks like. Maybe. Hatterene, Forges is going to have to deal with that, and the special guys, so that's interesting. And he might just lead that, we'll see. This is really interesting. There is Sneasler, though, so that's good. Yeah, I'm just taking the time. There's not too much I'm like thinking about right now, but it's definitely just kind of soaking in who's actually here. Zoe, Hat, Sneasler. Gren, Arcanine. And then Zap. Okay. Yeah, we got real quiet, real fast. So, we have our plans for turn 1 already. See what he brings out. Bonafrog. So it is Greninja. It could be Zoe still. We don't want to risk this situation, unfortunately. And if it's Zoe or Greninja, so we'll also find out if it's Battle Bond potentially right away. So we're just going to swap. We don't want to risk, even though it could be Focus Sash. EU turns. Doesn't do much. Not sure. That could have been Zell. See who he goes to. It would have been cool to hit that. It wasn't scarfed, but it definitely could have been since he U-turned. See who he wants to go to. Locks. Sneasler. So we don't know it's Sneasler technically, but we are going Don Fan. Hopefully poison move. He might just SD, but we do have the sturdy, so that's good. But he could just SD and U-turn out. He goes for gunk shot. Does not do very much. He should switch out here. I really want to knock in case it's something good to knock off. I am gonna knock off. Okay, good. He withdraws, we knock. He does have gunk shot on Sneasler. Brings in Zapdos, so we get a knock. Hopefully it's, ooh, that did a lot. And then we get the static, that's unfortunate. He didn't have Fortress. Donphan's still good for other things. I really want to EQ in case he roosts. But I think we are going to go Florges. Didn't even see what item we knocked off, to be honest. Probably should have stayed in and attacked. If he roosts, it's annoying. And also, it's like, who are we going to here? Because he goes for Hurricane, misses. So we can Baton now. He's gonna Volt. Yeah, probably should have swung there. That's frustrating. Played a little passive, but we could also just paired there. And I don't know if we want to lose Donphan super early. He brings in Hatterene. I think we want to go Chipper back to Florges. See how much this does. No Toad Scroll either, so yeah, Volt Switch is really free. I don't know if it's going to do that much, though. I feel like it's going to do really little. I haven't tried to calc anything yet. Versus Hat. Yeah, that's not much. So I think we have to go back to Florges and try to stall this thing out, especially if it Trick Rooms. Super annoying. I do want to look at how much does Dun do? Nuzzle. It's kind of annoying. Hyper Drill does not do that much to Bulky Hat. I think we want a Moonblast. Actually, I'm going to Synthesis. Probably should attack, but let's see how much this does. Not much. Please don't para. Okay, that's cool. It's not a great. This is like super goofy, but if we get through Hat, it should be really good. And then I don't know how Bulky Zap seemed to me. Psychic could do a lot, not too much. We Moonblast, and he doesn't look like he has healing. I'm gonna do one more Moonblast. I think after this we're gonna Synthesis. Hopefully no Parrot. Ooh, a little close. Please do not Parrot this turn. That's huge. I hate wasting them, but I think we gotta do it again. Because that was really close, and gives us another chance. Hopefully we can keep beating these pairs. Can we not get Para one more time and potentially Moonblast here? I think we're actually gonna Baton. Please let this work. Nice. So we're a little, not the biggest health right now, but we're Parrot, so it's not like amazing either. I kind of just want to go this and take a big hit right here. We could Volt Switch and adjust, but I kind of want him to bring Sneasler in. I mean, who would he'd have to bring in that? Or Zap. If he brings in Zap, who do we switch to? No one. So, yeah, I think we take the Volt Switch kill. Actually, it's looking kind of close. If this doesn't kill, we made a huge mistake. So please kill. I'm really nervous. It's like not much else, but we definitely didn't do much last time. That could have been a misplay there. Nice. The crit that probably didn't. It might have mattered. Don't know. Okay, so Rotom KO's Hat. I think I want to go to Dun and really see if we can bait out. I think we want to try to bait out the Sneasler. I really hope he goes Sneasler. So Hatterene's gone. That's most of his bulk, looks like. Bona Frog. Don't know who this is, and I think we want to go Florges either way, maybe? Maybe not. I think we actually just want to stay in and hit whatever this is. It might be Focus Blast, Zoe, which I think that's fine. I think because we have So Florges, we'll come back and try later. I don't like what it... The pair is annoying because we might just go down here. And I still don't know who this is because we haven't hit either one yet. Toxic Spikes. I really want a Synthesis. Parrot. I feel like the Parrot's coming and it's like weird. Yeah, we let him get up another round. And if we get paired here, it could be really bad. We still have Donphan, potentially can get him off, but he's also paired. So we do get the Synthesis off, which is good. I think we have to Moonblast, even though we should switch. No, he stays in. Takes him to his sash. Now that we know he's sash, I think we're gonna baton. No. We could baton. Oh yeah, Rotom doesn't take any from Toxic Spikes. So yeah, we are gonna baton. Oh my god, dude, the pair luck is crazy. We've not been stuffed on a pair yet. So I'm pretty sure I can go to this safely. And hopefully we can get Donphan in on whoever. You can go first with the Water Shuriken, but it definitely can't kill, so. We're gonna Volt Switch. Rotom, KO, Gran. Arcanine, Sneasler, Zozap. I think we have to go Donphan and spin, which is really frustrating because there's a lot of things that can kill. I think we have to try. We have to try, I think. And that makes Zapdos a lot harder to deal with now, potentially. I think we have to try. I really hope we can get it off. If not, that poison could be really annoying. I really wanted to go to Dun there and get Sneasler out on him. We'll see now. We'll see who he brings out. It's a big piece down. He still has Sneasler and Zo, though, and both those do, and Arcanine. But we still have Tauros. But if he gets poisoned, it could be tough. He goes Loki, so interesting. I mean, oh, I can't spin. Duh. Okay, well. And then we just go this. Which is actually good now that I think about it, because the Toxic Spikes. Oh yeah, Toxic Spikes because we're paired. That's interesting. Hex set. I bet that's choice specs. So I want to know now, how much does Rotom do to so Leaf Storm kills so from full. I think we just Moonblast if he gives it to us. We could have gone to the guy on Hex. Actually, we might do that right now. Let me think about this for a second. We have to rely on Leaf Storm if we go to Rotom to kill. I mean, do we Volt into the Dun? Or do we just want to go straight to Dunsparce? I think it's because he can go Zap on the EQ. Do we want to just take this thing down right now? 90%, and it definitely kills any Zo. I think Volt switching is safer. I think because I really think it's specs and we should be able to go to Dun. He should switch out. Yeah, okay, good. Ajax, Arcanine. takes a chunk. Stone Edge does not kill, so I actually think we're gonna Raging Bull. We do get the bad poison on Tauros, which is annoying. We do get the Intimidate off. I really want to switch out, because he definitely shouldn't just give me this. And I don't want to Stone Edge either, because it's a roll. No, it's actually not a roll, but we could miss. I guess we throw one, because Zap is so likely to come in on this. Hopefully we don't miss. And hopefully we kill too. It doesn't do much. Please hit this. He's life orbed. Oh, we hit. And we kill. So Arcanine's gone. Greninja and Hat. So we still have Zap, Sneasel, Zoe, which is pretty good for us. We don't have a Zap switching anymore, which you should go to right now. And I think we might have to sack this thing. Or can we just go, I think we can just go Moon now. He goes this thing. I mean, what else is this for now? It really doesn't help for anyone. Sneasler, Zoe. So I guess we just let him swing here once. He uses Hex. Oh, so it's Zoe. I think he's locked in. Pretty sure he's locked into Hex now. So we're gonna do what we did last time, which is bring in this thing. I think we still have to Volt Switch, because Zap can come in on the Leaf Storm. I'm hoping we make the right play here. We will get the bad poison though, but I don't know if that's a bad thing necessarily. He should Hex. I might not. This might be bad. If he's not Specs, we're in trouble. But it felt like, based on the KOs he's picking up, should be Hex. Nice. Ooh, it's tough because he should go Zap. Yeah, we had to try there. Hyper Drill does 35. And And we don't have a switch for this now, right? I mean, I guess we can sack Dawn Fan and then bring in Rotom. I think we try that first, because who's Dawn Fan for? Doesn't really help. I mean, he helps Sneasler, maybe. Now that, but he can't, he's not gonna be able to hit him back much. We'll see. We gotta make sure we play this good. He's still got a lot of offense left. Hurricane hits. Find out if we... Yeah, we didn't live last time. Gotta be careful here with this zap. Don't know what he's doing. Probably could have volt switched. I'm pretty sure I have to DD. He does have Roost. Could have subbed. I'm kind of curious now if I am gonna sub. Kind of goofy. Potential Hurricane miss, and if he does try to volt switch out. Does it break sub? Ah, that's tough. We might be in trouble. I don't know. I think we have to sub again, don't we? No. I think we need to hit this thing. No. We are +1. Crunch does quite a bit. Oh, see if we can live. Oh, not quite. He stays low enough that Rotom can kill, I think. This will be really tough. I think I had to attack instead of subbing. That's okay. Volt switch does enough. Unless he Terra something, Jesus. Okay, he saw his two pieces, Zoe and Sneasler. And we don't know who's who. Ground move is good on both now. So this is actually Sneasler, so he should. I think we're gonna do the thing now. This is really scary. You can tell I'm very quiet. This should just KO. I think we already saw the sash on someone. So this should just KO and then... Ooh, I did a lot. Oh, he lives. I think we try to roost in case he does something goofy. I think Rotom just wins. Oh, he's faster. What? Oh, we live. That's crazy. I think that might be how we win. Because this shit outspeeds Zoe, unless he's double scarfed or something. Wow, that is crazy. Oh, unless he has Sucker. Oh, if he has Sucker, GG. Dude, I really hope he doesn't have Sucker. No way. Wow, what a game. And wow. I'm at a loss for words. That was a great game. Gotta get this thing posted. GG to Zintaff, man. Well, that team is dangerous. Good luck to him and his season.